The blast came out of nowhere. Seriously, it sounded like the universe itself cracked in half right over Maple Ridge. 1 second, dead quiet, you could almost hear the squirrels snoring. The next, boom, windows rattling so hard I thought they'd jump off their hinges, car alarms throwing tantrums, porch lights popping on like a string of firecrackers. I'm standing there on my front step, dead calm, not even my hair out of place. Meanwhile, the whole block is losing its mind. And I'll tell you what really got me. Out of that perfect little house on the corner, smoke is curling up out of Karen Whitmore's snow-white chimney. But this isn't her usual, look at me, I burn only the finest kiln-dried, organic maple kind of smoke. This is thick, black, angry, snaking up through the sky while the neighbors come flooding out in bathrobes and bunny slippers, all clutching their phones, all shouting, "What just happened?" And right in the middle of it is Karen herself, standing on her driveway, hair half-fried like she stuck her head in a toaster, bathrobe flapping open, waving her arms at the firefighters and shrieking about sabotage, faulty firewood, Russian hackers, whatever, anything but the truth. But I knew. Oh, I knew exactly how we got here. Because for weeks, I'd watched Karen sneaking into my backyard after dark, heels sinking in the soft dirt, stealing logs from the same wood pile she'd find me for last fall. The irony, honestly, it was almost poetic. When her precious designer fireplace finally went kaboom in a cloud of poetic justice, let's just say I didn't exactly lose sleep over it. I just thought, Karen, you finally lit the wrong fire. Now, before I wind the story back, you gotta tell me, where are you watching from tonight? Seriously, drop your city in the comments. And don't forget to hit like if you've ever dealt with an HOA tyrant, because Maple Ridge, trust me, is just getting warmed up. See, from the outside, Maple Ridge Estates is every realtor's dream. Every lawn the exact same length. Every mailbox painted that same sad beige. Every car sparkling. Rules for everything. Quiet, safe, family-friendly. And I'll admit, when I moved in 8 years ago, right after I lost my wife, back when I just wanted something solid, predictable, I thought this was the answer. I didn't want adventure, I wanted numb. I wanted a place where nothing changed, where you could breathe deep and not worry someone would ask if you're okay. Just a small house at the end of a cul-de-sac. Maples everywhere. Wind so polite it barely rustled the blinds. The HOA promised stability, fairness, structure. And I figured, hell, maybe structure could hold me together a little. I worked from home, freelancing as a mechanical engineer. Nothing flashy, just safe, steady projects to keep the lights on. My garage turned into my office, my backyard into a workshop. Tools lined up like soldiers, an old smoker on the patio, and my pride and joy, my perfectly stacked firewood pile in the corner. I didn't need it for survival, but there's something honest about splitting wood, you know? You swing, it cracks, no emails, no drama, just that clean, satisfying thud and the smell of fresh oak. Every fall, I'd stack it straight as a ruler, neat and proud. Not fancy, but mine, a little patch of freedom in a world obsessed with rules. Neighbors here are friendly, sort of. The Millers bring pumpkin pie every Thanksgiving, Mr. Jenkins waves over his roses, people smile, and duck back inside. It's polite, distant, the Maple Ridge way. No one gets loud, no one argues, no one really connects either. The HOA likes it that way, call it maintaining standards. We call it don't make waves. You follow the rules, pay your dues, stay invisible. And for years, that was my life, quiet, safe, and a little lonely. Most nights, I'd sit out back with a cold beer, watch smoke drift from the fire pit, stars sharp as glass, and I'd think this is peace. But truthfully, it felt like hitting pause, just waiting for something to snap. That's the thing with places like Maple Ridge. Peace is just what you get when everyone's too scared to disturb it. But all it takes is one person who thinks they know what's best for everyone else. And suddenly, quiet turns to pressure. 8 years, I had that peace, until the day Karen Whitmore moved in. She landed like a perfume-scented hurricane. Smiles, handshakes, a clipboard thicker than a phone book. Nobody knew her, but inside a week, everyone knew about her. By the end of the month, she was HOA president. No election, no warning, just that I run the show now energy. After Karen showed up, even the silence in Maple Ridge felt different, tight, tense like the whole block was holding its breath. People started trimming lawns twice, peeking out windows, shuffling trash bins back inside the minute the clock struck pickup time. At first, I thought, how much trouble could one rule-obsessed neighbor really cause? Karen was in her mid-50s, always decked out in pressed blouses, pearls, a smile sharp enough to cut glass. The day she moved in, the street was lined with SUVs and a welcome home banner she clearly made herself. Within 3 weeks, she was running the HOA, cranking out newsletters, raising beautification standards like it was the Olympics. No one pushed back. Confrontation's rarer than a pink mailbox around here. Karen loved 3 things: rules, control, and making sure everyone saw her enforcing both. Every morning, she'd patrol the street, tape measure swinging, snapping pictures of lawn gnomes, writing down addresses for roadbird feeders. Her bulletins were legendary. Half the time, I didn't even know what she was on about, but everyone was too scared to ask. And honestly, at first, I found her kind of funny. Every neighborhood's got that one person, right? The rulebook enforcer. I figured, leave her alone, she'll leave me alone. But that's not how people like Karen work. One Tuesday, I'm stacking a fresh load of oak in the backyard, minding my business. I hear that sound, click, click, heels on gravel. She's at my gate, sunglasses on even though it's cloudy. "Mr. Thompson," she says in that tone that makes your spine itch. "That's me," I say. She's all polite, but her smile's frosty. "I'm sure you're aware of Section 8B of the HOA Maintenance Code." I wasn't, but I nodded anyway. "Your firewood stack is visible from the street. That's a violation of our community aesthetic." I looked at the pile, then at her. "It's behind my shed." She shook her head. "From certain angles, it disrupts the visual balance of the back row homes." Visual balance. I nearly snorted. "Karen, it's firewood, not the Mona Lisa." Her smile faded. "Rules are rules, Mr. Thompson." I bit my tongue. "I'll look into it," I said. "Please do. We want Maple Ridge looking perfect." She scribbled on her clipboard and strutted away, victorious. Of all the things to worry about, she picks a fight with a pile of wood. I didn't move it. Instead, I stacked it even neater, tucked it closer to the shed. I figured that'd be the end of it. But with Karen, nothing's ever over. By Friday, she'd sent out a bulletin about maintaining visual harmony and used my situation as her example. No names, but everyone knew. "Mr. Jenkins just laughed. Guess you made the list." "Mrs. Miller whispered, "Best not to poke the bear." I tried not to, but sometimes the bear comes looking for you. Weeks passed, quiet, or so I thought. Then, one morning, my woodpile looked smaller. At first, I figured maybe I just burned more than I remembered. But the next day, smaller again. I counted, missing 20 pieces. My engineer brain spotted it right away. 10 across, 6 high, 5 deep now. Gaps. No way it was kids. Kids in Maple Ridge barely step off their own lawns, let alone steal firewood. I checked by the shed. Flattened grass, narrow prints, looked like heels. Who steals firewood? Especially the same person who fined me for it? Another row vanished a few days later. No mess, just gone. By the end of the week, 50 logs had disappeared. This wasn't about money, it was about principle. I paid my dues, followed the rules, and someone was treating my yard like a free lumber yard. I asked around Jenkins, Miller. Nobody saw a thing. But I knew. I started keeping watch, looking for footprints, waiting. Then one night, just past midnight, I saw a flicker by the fence. Too late. The thief was gone, but that perfume, Karen's perfume, hung in the air, and there, heel prints by the gate. There was only one person in the neighborhood bold, or dumb, enough for this. So I got clever. I notched every log on the bottom, just a tiny mark only I'd notice. I put up a motion light. 4 nights, nothing. On the 5th night, flash, a shadow moving by the shed, fast, confident, moonlight glinting off heels. That was it. Anger simmering now, steady. It wasn't the firewood, it was the hypocrisy. That week, I bought 2 motion-activated night vision cameras with cloud backup. One above the shed, one hidden in the gutter. By the 3rd night, my phone buzzed, motion detected. And there she was, Karen, sneaking through my gate, beige coat, scarf, flashlight, heels. She moved like she'd done it a dozen times, muttering, "It's for the community anyway," loading my logs into her SUV, looking right into the camera lens, her face caught in full moonlight. I saved that footage 3 times just in case. Because justice? Justice likes an audience. I waited for the next HOA meeting. Karen's at the head of the table, coffee mug labeled "One Boss Lady," calling me out for my Firewood violation, threatening a fine. Calm as you please, I stand up and say, "Interesting you mention photos, Karen, because in those same 48 hours, half my firewood vanished." The room goes quiet. She tries to brush it off, but I keep going. Funny thing, I put up cameras. Guess who showed up on video? Freeze. She laughs, nervous, fake. That's invasion of privacy. Not when the cameras are on my property, I say, and hook my phone to the projector. There she is for the whole room to see, caught red-handed. The room erupts, whispers, stifled laughter. Even the treasurer leans over. About time someone stood up to her. Karen tries to bluster, says it's harassment, but the damage is done. When I walked out, neighbors clapped me on the back. "You're a legend, man." For the first time in years, the night felt light. I knew Karen wouldn't give up. Folks like her never do. 3 days after the explosion, I find an official letter taped to my door. Karen, still soot-streaked, calls a special hearing, accuses me of community safety violations. Her nerve was almost impressive. I show up, standing room only, everyone buzzing. Karen tries to blame me. My firewood's dangerous. My cameras are unauthorized. I let her finish, then calmly pull out the fire inspector's report. Turns out, foreign material in her fireplace, traced to logs acquired from an external, unverified source. Her own written statement admits she acquired the wood. Gasps around the room. And for good measure, I show the camera footage, her in heels, stealing logs at midnight. Legal as it gets, I say. Even the treasurer misses. Beasley can't hide her grin. "You find me for wind chimes, Karen," she says, and the whole room bursts out laughing. The vice president calls for a vote. Hands shoot up everywhere. Karen's reign is over. When she finally storms out, purse swinging, the applause is the sweetest thing I've ever heard. Maple Ridge, for the first time in ages, feels alive. Neighbors waving, kids laughing, the first community barbecue in years. People still ask, "You're the firewood guy, right?" I shrug, depends which version you heard. The story's become a legend. A reminder, rules should protect, not punish. Order only works when it's fair. A few months later, I hear the backyard gate creak. There's Karen, different now. Hair shorter, no pearls, no heels. "Just came to grab my last box," she says. We walk to the shed, just 2 people who fought too long over a fence. "I wasn't trying to be cruel," she says, voice small. "I just wanted things right. Control isn't order," I tell her. "It's just fear dressed up." She nods, really hearing it for the first time. "They call me HOA Karen Online now," she whispers. Someone made a meme. I try not to smile. The internet never loses. She leaves. No threats, no drama, just quiet. Standing there, I realize justice doesn't always come loud. Sometimes it's just a little balance, quietly restored. I throw a log on the fire, watch the flames settle, and for the first time since moving here, I feel at home. So what would you have done in my shoes? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me your wildest HOA stories or that time karma finally caught up. Because around here, even the smallest ember of decency can set the whole place alight.